Okay, in this episode I'm going to go over prepping 101, and the first element of surviving any issue is water. And in general, I'm just going to go over in this episode water filtration specifically. There is water purification pills and things like that, but I'm going to go over the filtration. In my opinion, filtration is the easiest method for water purification when you have dirty, just unknown water sources and you need clean, fresh water. So in this episode, I'm going to go over the Lifestraw, the Sawyer squeeze, backpacking type pump filters, and then gravity filters, such as the big Berkey or Berkefeld filters, such as this one. And if you'd like, in the video notes, there will be chapters in there. So like, say you don't care about the Lifestraw, you can skip over and go to each particular one. I'm going to go in depth into each and which one I feel is the best to have. So for starters, I'm going to go into the Lifestraw. Okay, this is the Lifestraw, and it's essentially, it is a straw. It's a filter straw. So it has a mouthpiece right there and an opening down there, and you just open the top and you suck through it like a straw. There is some advantages and disadvantages to it. The number one advantage though is these are very cheap. You can get these in multi-packs. Sam's Club sells them, Walmart sells them. They're very inexpensive, but they do have some limiting things on them. I'd say the biggest limiting factor is with the Lifestraw, there's no storage potential on here. So you would just have to either have a puddle on the ground, a pond, a stream, a gutter, anything, and you would just, suck out of the top of this. It's got a little protective mouthpiece on there to keep it clean, because you always want to keep the outlet side clean, and then the bottom side. Okay, we've got it out of there now. This is the Lifestraw. So you do have a cap on the top. That's your mouthpiece. It actually does have a seal on it, and then your bottom has a cap too. This is your dirty water inlet. And it's essentially, you just open the cap on the bottom, stick it in the water, open to the top, and then just suck through the straw. And it filters quite a bit. The negatives on this, I'll show you here in a second. Okay, say you do have two common water containers. So like the Nalgene bottle, you can put dirty water in a Nalgene bottle, Lifestraw can go in there, and you can filter out of this. Unfortunately though, a typical water bottle, such as this does not fit on there very good. You could it kind of fits, but it doesn't fit very good. So there is some not so good on that though. So you're kind of limited on what water containers you can use. This anything with the wide mouth, glass jars, these Nalgene plastic bottles, they're the way to go. Okay, hopefully you can see this. This is your outlet. Dirty water enters in here, and then you just use this end, pop this cover off, and drink it like a straw. And it does have a lanyard. These are relatively inexpensive, and you could buy these and put these in everybody's bug out bag, or and just everybody can keep one in the car. They're so inexpensive that I bought a lot of them, and I just put a few of them everywhere. Next one I want to go over is Lifestraw actually makes a bottle that's a good alternative too for somebody who wants something a little bit nicer than this, a little bit incognito, isn't as noticeable, and it's a great item for bug out bags. I actually bought this for when I worked in an office because I didn't trust the bubbler in the office, and then I just started bringing my own water from home, and I never ended up using it. Okay, this is the Lifestraw stainless steel bottle. When you open it up completely to fill it up, it has the Lifestraw filter built in. And then you put your dirty water in there, put the filter in there, and then hold this second area and loosen the top section, and there's your straw right there. And it's essentially one of those stainless steel bottles that everybody has in the office, everybody has at work, everybody hikes with. It's just a filtered version. So these are a good option. A little bit more pricey though. You're not going to get these for $10, unfortunately. These are probably like more 50 to probably now with inflation probably close to $100. I'll put the updated prices in the notes. And as stated before, each of these individually filter models, I'll put a link to that specific time so you can jump through the video and just see the filters you want to see, unless you want to learn about them all. But this is a good option, discrete option for the office. And yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go over my two favorite models, that the Sawyer Squeeze. I actually have two different versions, I realize. And looking, these two particular, the packaging, both say Squeeze, but I'm pretty sure this is the Micro and this is the original Squeeze. But I'll go over this one. These I actually purchased this one at Walmart of all places, and this one I'm not sure where I got it at, but these are my all-time favorites. So I'm going to open them up. Okay, now you can see what you get in here when you get this kit. You get a syringe in here, and this is actually for helping cleaning it. Put that off to the side. You get a cap, a hose. This is your filter, and then you get a water bladder bag. So the idea with this, in a nutshell, you take this bag and you fill this, scoop it into a pond. You put your dirty water in here. And then you take this is your filter. You can see that. You screw that on there, like that. And then you would literally squeeze the dirty water through the filter, and it comes out here. And this end, you can put a hose on it. You can do, all sorts of different things. You have the greatest feature of this, though, and it's kind of nice too because it shows you the flow direction, so you don't, mix them up. Your flow is that way. But what's cool about this one is if you have a Camelback hydration backpack, you can put this in line, cut a section in your hose, attach the end here, fill your bladder with dirty water, and then put the other end here, and then suck on the straw. And that is this kit. So, and then if you need to clean this, you put this on there and push it in reverse in case it gets clogged. This one I do like, but I like the other one a little bit better. And then you do get a lid for this pouch, so when you fill this up, you can carry it. Okay, now this kit I actually like much better. This is the Squeeze, but it's a little bit, this one's the filtration system. So it comes with a little bit more stuff. I'm going to pull it all out. Yeah, you can see there's quite a bit more stuff. But what I like this one better is the filter's actually a little bit different. It's a little bit bigger, and but it still has the directions on it. You get two bladders. You get two bladders with two lids for your bladders. You get a carry bag for the whole system. You get an adapter, a hose. But here's the best part. So this thing, you've got a flip top there, and then this is your input for dirty water. So you can put that there and attach a hose, and then you can attach that. So there's your dirty water would go into there, and then you could literally press down on it and squeeze the water out of here. And then, believe it or not, you could fill another container like that. And then as you press on this one to squeeze. So hopefully you can see this a little bit better. So this would be my dirty water in here. I could squeeze out of here into this container, into another container. You could squeeze it into squeeze it into a Nalgene bottle, and then if you squeeze it into one of these, you can put a cap on it when you're done, and you can actually have some water storage. But if you're going to use one for dirty water and one for clean water, tape, marker, something, put clean, dirty, just so you can you don't mix them up later on, because some of those bugs, they'll stick around for a while. But it is a great little portable system, like I said, with a lot of cool extras. And for the price, you can't beat this. And actually, for groups of people, you can filter a lot of water pretty easily. So, and it's kind of neat when you do have the mesh bag. You can store everything in there, and it's kind of nice because then you got a nice little way to carry it all. And it'll dry pretty quickly in this mesh bag. Okay, for this one I'm gonna go, this is a Katadyn. This is like backpacking style filter. This one's actually almost probably 20 years old. I've had it for a long time. It's pretty, not as compact as the other one, but this can filter a lot of water, and it's got a lot of interesting, I was gonna zoom in on a lot of this, but it's this is your main pump body. So your inlet is right here, and this is where you would actually attach this quick release hose. It has a weighted end on it with a piece of foam. So this would float on the surface, and then this would hang down a little bit. So you can drop this into like a stream, a puddle, a bucket, a barrel. And then this is the interesting part. You actually have a separate little bag to keep it clean. It says outlet. So this one, you don't want to mix the two together and cross-contaminate. On top of your pump handle, there's a little protector. And then this hose goes on there. Oh, what's neat about this, if you have these Nalgene bottles that are kind of good for just about pretty much indestructible, it comes with a filter top that just fits on there. And then you would take this, pump, drop this into your water source, and just pump and then fill this up. And then when you're done, it's kind of the same thing. You disassemble it. You'd close this. Make sure to keep your outlet clean and don't touch the inlet. Store it in its own little bag. And just so you know, the Lifestraw, the Sawyer squeeze, they use, I believe, a charcoal type filter. This is a ceramic filter, much better filter, but these are going to cost you a little bit more money. So, but these can pump a lot of, there's only one negative with a lot of these filters, especially the ceramic ones. They're a little tricky in the winter because the ceramic element will absorb moisture, and then if it freezes, you gotta watch out. But you do get a nice carry bag. And then if you're gonna get one of these type, you can actually get these used. These, like I said, this one's about 20 years old. They sell replacement filters for these. The filters are where the cost is at. It's very much like buying a printer. The filter isn't that expensive. It's the filters are what's expensive. The kit, this one's old, but I have some wet wipes in there because if you're handling the dirty end and you're going to attach the clean end, sometimes you want to wash your hands. It's not a bad idea. But like I said, I've been using this one for about 20 years, and I use it all the time on any type of camping trip. And hopefully that was helpful. Okay, now we're going to go over the big filter, I guess you could say, but it's probably the other ones that I showed you are a little bit more small, compact. They're more like you could take them backpacking in your vehicle. This one is big, and this one is more of for your family, in your house, you're bugging in, you're overlanding, got a big vehicle, you got a lot of extra room. But I'll show you the way these things work. You can just kind of see this top section here. There's two filter elements, and then the bottom section is actually the clean water. So in this section right here, it actually lifts up. There's two filters inside there, a lid. You pour the dirty water in there, let gravity do its work. It'll drip through the bottom of this. It'll just drip, 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 fill this up, and then you've got a regular spigot, you know, like a coffee spigot. And this filter's really good. It's really easy to use. You know, if you have arthritis or any, you know, kind of issue, some of those like hand pump ones or the squeeze ones, you know, they're a little harder to use. This one's, as long as you can pour dirty water on the top and then just let it do its thing. It takes a little longer, but this can take some really disgusting water and make it drinkable. And a lot of people actually use these just in general, like if they don't trust their well, they don't, you know, they just want, you know, they don't even want to question the water quality. They'll use one of these. And this one's actually the British Berkefeld. They go by other names. Big Berkey is the this one's made in Great Britain. Big Berkey, I think, is the offshoot, the Americanized version. There's a couple other companies that make these in stainless, and they're probably all very similar. They do sell kits where you can get the same filters, and then this you put it together yourself and use 5-gallon buckets or plastic containers. I'm not a fan of those, just because plastic tends to be a little porous. For small, short-term use like the other filters that I showed you, it's not a big deal. This one is end of the world. I need clean water long-term. I'm going to use it day in, day out for like a year or something like that, because this does a large amount of filtering. So hopefully this was helpful on this model. Like I said in the notes before, if you want to skip around, you want to come back and watch this video, but you only want to come to this part, if you go back to the show notes, it'll be in there, the different chapters. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Like I said, this was just Prepping 101, basic water filtration. And like I said, I didn't want to go over the chemical pills because they just kill bugs in the water. They really don't filter anything out. All these filters I showed you do filter out the majority of the things in the water that cause the most issues. So these are pretty simple to use. Anybody could use one of these. Probably the most complex would be the backpacking type ones or the Sawyer squeeze. But on the same note, they're really easy to use. And the British Berkefeld is probably the easiest to use, but it's also the most expensive at a few $100s. If I was to only have one, I would recommend one of the Sawyer squeezes and some bags, and you know, learn how to use it well. And it's a great thing for a bug out bag, and it's just pretty simple to use once you've had it for a while. If you're prepping for a family and you know you're going to bug in, like I said, the gravity fed ones are far superior, but they are big, bulkier, and a little harder to move around. But on that note, I do keep a Lifestraw in every one of my vehicles just because they're cheap. And then in my go bags, I've also got the Sawyer squeezes. And then in the house here, I've got the British Berkefeld. And then when I go backpacking, I take the backpacking one just because it's designed for heavy use. I may try to switch it to the Sawyer squeeze, try it out though, for like 1-2 day trips. But yeah, like I said, a lot of these filters, they kind of have their pluses and minuses, but look at the cost, look at, you know, how much space it takes up, your comfort level in using it, and when you think you're going to use it. Like, it's one of those things too, if you think you're going to do a lot of backpacking, just get a really good backpacking one. It'll double duty for emergency situations also. If you think you're never going to use it, but you kind of just want to have one, you can't go wrong with the Lifestraw products, because they're just one of those, they don't weigh anything. They go in your glove box in the car, and you have something there in case of an emergency. If you are a little bit more techie though, the Sawyer squeeze is probably more for you. But hopefully this was helpful. And then the world is a little crazy, our country right now, so stay safe. And then next installment, we're going to be going over shelter and food. So hopefully this will be helpful. And this is, like I said, very basic. But if you have any suggestions, know something better, cheaper, different, maybe I didn't go over something well enough or whatever, put it in the comments. I love to hear the comments. I love to learn new things from the comments. I don't know everything, obviously. And I get a lot of great information from the viewers. So thanks again. And like I said, be safe.